Thanks be unto God. Well, if you have your Bibles with you today, turn them to Genesis chapter 6. Oh, we're in the book of Genesis today. It won't take you long to find us. Genesis chapter 6. Genesis chapter 6, beginning with the 5th verse. Genesis, the book of beginnings. You know, how you end a thing determines how you begin the next. And we are grateful to God for giving us brand new beginnings. That morning by morning, every morning, His mercies are made new unto us. Isn't it wonderful that God gives you a brand new start every day where you can leave all of the messes, the mishaps, the mistakes, the failures, the bad judgments of yesterday in yesterday, and we can step into a bright tomorrow? Isn't it good news to know that you haven't made one error in your future? Your past is over and your future is spotless. Isn't that good news? Here in the 5th verse of the 6th chapter of the book of Genesis, the book of beginnings, you notice here as God was doing something in the earth, something had happened to the quality and the state of humanity. Verse 5, you'll notice these words, "Then the Lord saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And the Lord was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. And so the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping thing and birds of the air, for I'm sorry that I've made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord." And this is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was a just man, perfect in his generations. Noah walked with God. And Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And the earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. So God looked upon the earth, and indeed it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And God said to Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark and cover it inside and outside with pitch. I just want to talk to you from the subject briefly today. Get ready. This is not a scary message. I didn't come to scare you into some doomsday message to believe that the end of the world is imminent. I don't want you to believe that the end of the world is just right upon us, because it causes irresponsible living. I want to be real with you. If you believe that the end of the world is coming tonight, you know, like some folks were crazy and lost their minds at the end of the turn of the century from 1999, December the 31st, and they were acting like computers were going to go crazy and your mortgages were going to be wiped off of bank records and all of that foolishness. Well, I had been a manager of information systems for the previous 10 years, and I had sense enough to know that they would have stuff backed up. I knew better. Man, of course, I went to the ATM and pulled out a little extra money. I didn't want the pandemonium, you know, to put me in a fix in case I wanted to go to Waffle House, you know. But I do want you to know that, you see, if we believed, for example, that the Messiah is coming tomorrow and swoop all of us up, it'll make us lazy and not do anything today. And in all of Jesus' talk here on the earth, he didn't really talk a whole lot about heaven. He did talk a whole lot about our living our lives responsibly here in the earth. Because today well lived will take care of tomorrow. And so I want to talk about our really getting ready, because the days in which Noah lived were evil and violence filled the earth, just like we have violence that's in various parts of the world today. And if you'll study your scriptures correctly in the book of Matthew, it talks about when you hear of wars and rumors of wars, be not afraid, for the end is not yet. So don't be afraid that you're getting ready to just check out and fly away. We are not going to go up until we first grow up. I understand that as an order in God. So you may as well just unpack your bags and start living responsibly, because if you'll take care of what needs to be taken care of today, then you can live and have a wonderful tomorrow. We oftentimes, you don't know how many people have prayed this irresponsible prayer of, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. But what's going to happen if you don't die before you wake and you have to face tomorrow? That's the question. I am a realist. I am a practical person. And I believe that the Bible is a practical book. This is not some spiritual book of ethereal ideologies that calls us to start looking off into the celestial world and be irresponsible in our living today. This is a practical life book with life instructions so that you are prepared for the things of tomorrow. So what God told Noah to do in the midst of evil days, evil times, and violence that had filled the earth, God didn't tell him to just get in a corner and just pray exclusively. Do I believe in prayer? Absolutely. I believe that men ought always to pray and not to faint. We ought to pray continuously. I believe supremely in the power of prayer. But I believe also that faith without works is dead, and dead faith does not work at all. So we have a responsibility to get ready. There were perilous times coming during the time of Noah, and God told Noah to begin to prepare to build. He said, build yourself an ark. God said, I don't need one. He says, you build yourself an ark. And I want to encourage you to build yourself an ark. This ark is to be built for you and for your family. It is to be built for posterity. Don't just build it for you. He built it for the generations to come. You have to build a place of safety so that when you die, that what you have birthed does not die with you. You have to build for longevity. It's about legacy. And let me tell you that the life that you live is the legacy that you leave. And here Noah was working on being a righteous man. The Bible esteemed him as a just man and perfect in his generations. Don't let that word throw you off. It doesn't mean flawless. It doesn't mean that he never made a mistake. You know that Noah got drunk. You do realize that. There was sometimes, he was a human being. He didn't have wings and a halo over his head. He was a human being. You remember he got drunk and his sons came in and saw his nakedness uncovered. So he was a human being. I don't want you to think that perfect here means flawless, that he had never done anything wrong. If you'd study it in the original Hebrew, you'd discover when he's talking about just and perfect, it says that he lived with integrity. He was a man that lived with integrity. He was a man of character. And you have to understand that God spoke to Noah to start getting ready for something before it came. Theologians say that it took Noah 120 years to build the ark. That's a long time to prepare for something. It took him 120 years to prepare. The bigger that something is going to be, the greater time that you need to prepare for it. So the greater that your legacy is going to be, the earlier that you need to start working on it. You have to prepare for it. If you wait until it's time to be ready in order to get ready, you're too late. So Noah starts 120 years in advance working on preparing an ark for himself. God says, make an ark for yourself. He didn't say make it for me. He said make it for yourself, and I'm going to give you some instructions, because you must understand that at this time of the writing of the scriptures in the 6th chapter of the book of Genesis, that rain was a real anomaly. It had never rained before in the earth. The Bible teaches in Genesis chapter 2 that a mist, God watered the earth by a mist that rose up from